On an episode not too long ago, we talked about your grandma Maudie, right?
Yes, this would be my mother's mother, Ruth Reardon. And yet, for reasons we didn't know when we were kids, we all called her Maudie. And then I asked her once, why do we call you Maudie? And she said that there was a cartoon strip back, maybe even before the turn of the century or at the turn of the century. I believe she was born in 1890, and she was on a playground, and some kids were harassing her or, teasing her, and so she kicked at them, and they started calling her Maudie, because there was a well-known cartoon at the time about I don't know if it's a mule or a horse that kicked people. Oh my God.
Here it is. And this is the mule or the horse kicking someone right there. And her name was Maud.
This is it. Oh my God. I'm trying to see what the date is on this. That would be cool to know. I can't make out the date.
I thought it said 1904 somewhere. Would that be too late?
I don't think so. You can still kick people when you're 14. This is really cool. This is...
Her classmates sound like dicks.
Well,
don't they? I mean,
kids don't change.
I know, but they were bugging her so much that she needed to kick them, and then they started calling her a kicking mule.
Well, yeah, but it's not like the name stuck and her grandchildren ended up using it. Oh no, this is so cool. This is a good. There's a guy who gets kicked by a mule. He's angry, so he takes the mule. He says, I'll fix this pesky critter. He ties the mule up. The mule kicks some more people. It's kicking automobiles. It's kicking everybody. And then the people realize that the owner's the one that caused all this problem. So they go and they kick him.
Mm-hmm.
And the mule then gets to laugh at the owner who just got kicked. Hee-haw. My question is, okay, did they do the same bit every week?
I don't know.
I mean, how many of these cartoon strips did they do? At least this is a cartoon strip that's acceptable today. If you look at a lot of cartoon strips from the turn of the century, they would not pass muster anymore. They're incredibly
but wait till you
despicable.
find out that mule's politics.
Wow, this is an America First mule. He wants closed. This is a closed border mule. This is so cool to see this. To think that my grandmother would have seen this.
It does say to be continued next Sunday, so I bet there's a whole story.
Yeah, I think my guess is this mule just keeps on kicking people.
Yeah. I have a little info about it. And Her Name Was Maud is the name of the strip. Is a comic strip by Frederick Burr Opper. It first appeared in the Hearst newspapers on July 24th, 1904. That's it.
Well,
the rest of the stuff is...
Wait, can I just say, Adam, you approached the mic like, I've just got some news. The Hindenburg has exploded at Lakehurst, New Jersey. All souls have been lost.
Even you seem surprised by your own lack of information.
This is less interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Her name is Maud in 1904. Newspapers.
Yeah.
Although Hearst papers, though, it probably does have some politics.
Yeah. Well, this is, I don't know, I love that kind of connection to, first of all, this is, as I've spoken about before, I loved my grandmother. And after my grandfather passed, she lived with us for a while. And she was this amazing link to the late 19th, early 20th century. And I remembered her telling me it was once New Year's Day, and she told me she had a very clear memory of New York City because she was staying with relatives in New York City in 1900 on New Year's Day. And she was describing it. She was describing the carriages going by, how cold it was, the snow. She said, I can see it right now, like perfectly. And I thought, I'm always fascinated by time travel, that concept that you can have a human connection to somebody. I don't know if you had this because I know, Sona, you lived with...
Oh, my
grandparents.
And Dada both lived into their 90s.
Into their 90s.
Yeah.
And they came from...
They came from Istanbul.
Yep.
And I mean, my grandpa he was a butcher when he was 12. Like, they just put him to work really early.
Right.
So it's like the idea that you are trusting a 12-year-old with slaughtering animals just feels like a completely different world.
But also just the fact that then they come to this country and they're living with you, and it's you're going out to In-N-Out to grab a burger.
Yeah.
And whatever else you're up to. It's just this amazing clash of cultures. I find that stuff fascinating.
Well, my great-grandma also lived with us, and she was old as shit. She was really old.
You don't say old as shit.
She was really, really old. And I remember she was this old, wrinkly lady, and I was really young. I was maybe like 10. And my mom's like, she's going to sleep in your room. And from then on, I was terrified of the dark because I thought she was like an old witch lady. And she was just
Wait, when you say she was, what did you say, old as shit?
Yeah.
How old is old as shit?
She was, I mean, when I was 10, she was like 95.
Because there are young comedians out there that now see me and go, "You're old as shit." So it's all relative.
That's right. I was 10 and she was 60.
No, seriously. How old do you think she was?
She was 95. Yeah,
wow.
But she was like an old wrinkly lady, and I was young, and I was like, "Why is this old person in my room?" And I got terrified of the
But you
dark.
sound like an awful grandchild.
I was really bad.
I love this. Like old and wrinkled. Why is that in my room?
We did something else. I don't want to. I shouldn't.
Well, we got to now.
This is really bad. So she had a son who passed away that no one told her passed away. And then my uncle who was still in Istanbul, and we'd hold up 2 fingers and be like, Medzik, touch one of them. And she would touch them and be like, oh, that's, Bejo Daidai, who was my uncle. And she'd just instantly start crying. And we thought it was so
Wait, I don't understand
funny
what was happening here.
Because we kept reminding her of these people she hadn't seen in a long time, and we'd instantly make her cry. And Danny and I were like, "Let's go make Medzi cry."
Whoa! Oh my God, you're a monster. You're a sociopath. Wow. How is that?
We were just fascinated with her instant sadness.
I thought you were the true sociopath, but it's you all
along. It really
along.
was messed up.
What a twist!
No. To be fair, I did it to my grandmother Maudie too. I used to go, remember that loved one that perished? It was fun. We used to call it was the old fun, we called it the Perish game.
Oh,
hey, let's go play Perish. And we'd go into Maudie's room. Remember the one you loved who perished? Look at them waterworks. You're an awful, awful person.
No joke. That was really bad.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
It was bad. We would make her laugh just for
all right, well,
fun.
listen, let's have some
cry.
good come
You don't
from
need
this.
to clarify no joke.
We would
know
make
that
her
it's bad.
cry just for fun.
Yeah,
because we were terrible.
Let's have
people.
some good come out of this. If you're listening right now and you're tempted to go mock a very, very old relative by reminding them of someone they lost long ago, think twice.
Yeah.
That's a little word from Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.